Morning, everybody. I'd like to tell you about my 3-hour virtual anatomy workshop this Sunday, starting at 1 o'clock and going on till 4 o'clock. Now, it's called Spinal Revolution and Biotensegrity, and we're looking at the series of connections in the body and the body being an integrated being. Now, modern medicine is absolutely brilliant, but it doesn't look at connections, and this is where we are behind. Integrated medicine looks at connection of connections. So in a traditional way of Gray to Versailles to Leonardo da Vinci, when you look at that anatomy, everything is in isolation, and that's the way modern medicine works now. So if you've got a knee trouble, you see a knee specialist. If you've got a shoulder trouble, you see a shoulder specialist. There's no integration. Now, there's something we are missing, and we are really seeing this at this present time. When we have a brain, the brain is connected to the rest of the body. And I want to use this word that I learned off Joanne Avison. We are bio-emotional beings. So we are physical, mental, and spiritual. So the way we portray our emotions in our head has a reflection to the rest of the body. The brain connects through to the body. So your body is a reflection of your emotions, and you can see that with all the negativity around. So when there's bereavement, sadness, grief, anger, the body will change to go into the position to represent those emotions, and that's very important. So we're not end-brained or end-skulled, we are embodied. So you cannot separate. So anybody who knows me, who comes to my Pilates studios, when you have an injury or you have an illness or anything, I will always do a 4-hour consultation. Most people will always want me to treat the symptom because that's the way we've been taught, but I will always want to look at the root cause and look at the whole body holistically. So I want to give you a few of the moves that I'm going to be teaching at the weekend. And as I say, this workshop is going to be recorded. It's available for 7 days, and you can join me from all over the world. So my Indian crew, do get on and join me if you can, and if you can't, the recording's available. So you don't need to have a Pilates art barrel, but you're going to use one here, and I'm going to use this foam roller. Now, when I use the foam roller for this particular movement, or if I use the ball, you are using what's called a tilting reflex, and that means the support underneath is not stable. So I'll give you an example. So first of all, I'm going to take myself into a lunge. My foot's on the floor here, and now I'm on a righting reflex, so everything's stable. I'm going to inhale to stretch up and circle down and round. Now, the idea of tensegrity is that with me, with the movement, the way I am interpreting it, I'm using passive action and traction from the bar. And I'm getting that nice rotation, which is helping to open the spine. Now, if I take my back foot now, either onto the ball or the barrel, it's going to have a different effect. So it's going to have a different effect straight away on the central nervous system. The central nervous system's got to switch on to keep balance. So here we go. You're going to lift to go up and down and round. Now I'm working harder to stabilize. I'm pushing through the back leg, and I'm working in opposites. It's my yin and yang, my polarities. So I'm resisting in two directions. Next, I'm going to take myself into traction here. So I'm going to use the passive force off the barrel or on the chair to take myself down. And all I'm going to do is let this spine go into a circular cylindrical action as I start to resonate and start to help the pumps of the body. And there's no right or wrong. And this also helps me on my thoracic girdle, and for me, my tightness in my shoulder flexors. Another one, I'm going to use the band, and I will be using a lot of band work, and I'm just going to hook it over the shoulders. So again, I've got this resistance from behind. Again, this is not an exercise, it's just a cute stance, and I'm just getting a slight rotation. And the traction is helping me to resist. And again, these are all key little pivot and primal movements. So this is your transverse plane. And again, I'll go into infant development and do a lot of yield and push, and yield and pull, and a lot of the infant reflexes. So I'm going to go down onto the floor, And all I'm going to do is let the body just roll around. And there we have it, everybody. So it's just to give you a little inkling of what I am doing this Sunday. So this is my Spinal Revolution and Biotensegrity workshop. It's for movement and manual therapists, and it's to give you ideas, and so that you can take away, and you can either give to your manual clients and give them to do these exercises or these movement patterns at home, or if you're a movement therapist and you're presently teaching on Zoom, you can incorporate them into class. Because when you do these new movements, or when we do anything new, it creates new engrams or new ways of thinking of doing things. If we always do everything the same way over and over again, particularly in movement patterns, yes, we build practice and we build a strong form in that pattern, but we don't think of doing anything any other way. So it's very much a somatic, very much an embodied approach, not an instilled. We are bio-emotional beings. So I'm going to look forward to seeing you at my workshop, everybody. All the details I've put below, and do share if you can. Have a fantastic